My name is Pedder and I love to talk about all things tech. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy watching, please subscribe and let's go. As I just said in the intro, right, I really like tech. I get excited about all kinds of things, from app updates, software fixes, new phone releases, even just new processor announcements and things like that. I am hooked. 5G is no exception. I've been excited about 5G for longer than I can actually remember now. I remember reading it in an article, and when I first read the theoretical speeds, I was just in awe, and I couldn't wait. So you see, the theoretical speeds of 5G can go up to 10 gigabytes per second. 10 gigabytes per second. That is mind-blowingly fast. Just to put that in perspective, check your internet speed now, pause the video and come back. Let me know in the comments what speed you're getting on your home Wi-Fi, or if you're watching this on 4G, let me know what speed you're getting there. But coming off that article about the theoretical speeds, once you do the research, you see there's a big difference between theoretical speeds and what we're actually going to see in day-to-day use. For example, 4G's theoretical speeds are 100 megabytes per second. Now, you may or may not get 400 megabytes per second when you're out and about, but chances are you're probably going to get around 20, 30, 50 megabytes per second tops. All depends on your coverage, your signal, but it's unlikely you're going to get those top theoretical 4G speeds. So with 5G, it's unlikely that you're going to get the top speeds of 10 gigabytes per second. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. However, the good side to that is, if the theoretical speed of 4G is around about a fifth, if you're getting a fifth of the speed of 5G, you're still going to get 2 gigabytes. So it is still a massive improvement, don't get me wrong. However, the theoretical does leave you a little bit disappointed in what you actually get. Or does it? See, that brings me on to my next point. What are we going to use all that speed for? So we've seen the adverts, we've seen the Apple promos, because 5G is finally here, right, Apple?
5D or 5D or 5D, 5G or 5D and 5D, 5G ultra wideband or 5G, 5D, 5G, 5D, 5G, 5D, 5G, 5G, 5G.
iPhone 12 with 5G. 5G, 5G, 5G.
5G, 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 5G,
5G, 5G.
5G and 5G.
5G, 5G, 5G. 5G.
5G, 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 5G,
5G, 5G.
5G, 5G. Thank you.
It's not, and if they stepped outside for a second, they would see 5G is not here. Just because you announce a phone with 5G after everybody else doesn't mean that 5G has finally arrived. Calm down. You know, the picture of someone stood in the airport and downloading a whole Netflix series in 10 seconds, or downloading an album before they get onto the underground train. But what are we actually going to use 4G for? Because I don't know anyone who actually does that with films. Who's standing there outside thinking, oh, I'll just download these films before they go anywhere. It's not a real world scenario for 99% of us. I get it, some people might do that, but for most of us, do we really? For most of the things that we do, 4G speeds work just fine. Uploading an Instagram video or picture, tweeting, sending an email. As long as you have good signal, you never really have any issues vis-a-vis speeds. So what will we use 5G for? Well, who the hell knows? At the end of the day, we didn't know what we would use 4G for before it came about. Who would have thought that we'd be live streaming on Instagram and Facebook, or that we'd be doing video chats out and about using Duo or WhatsApp? I mean, this feels like Facebook is unavoidable in this video. They own 99% of the things that we do. So the real possibilities of 5G we're probably not going to see until a few years down the line. Why? Well, we need to get it into the hands of the dreamers and the makers and the tinkers and the people who do have that vision to come up with what we're going to use 5G for next. Maybe it's VR chat instead of just video chat. I don't know. I'm not an innovator. But there are people out there who will be working on something that we're probably going to see in 2 or 3 years down the line. And that's where the real excitement is. Because we're not going to be using our phone the same way we do now in a few years. One of the things that springs to mind, and I must mention here that I am employed by BT, or the umbrella company of both BT Sport and EE, but they have no affiliation to this video whatsoever. EE are now rolling out the BT Sports app they can use over their 5G plan, where you can watch football games in VR, and it will have player statistics overlaid on top of the players, and you can see the player formations and it looks really cool. But again, a lot of that you're probably not going to be doing while you're waiting at the bus stop. So do you need the speeds, or can you just do that over Wi-Fi? I'd probably say you're going to have Wi-Fi when you want to do that. But again, going forward into the future, who knows? Before we see this mass rollout of apps and new services that we're going to use 5G for to its full capacity, two things need to happen. Number one, battery life on phones. Right now, battery life is impacted massively by 5G. Those short times when you're on it, it does take a hit on the battery. Not only that, but switching between the 4G receiver and the 5G receiver, that tends to use a lot of battery as well. The recently announced Qualcomm 888 does have a 5G chip integrated, so battery life is going to be better on 5G. But again, that's going forward. That's a next year's chip, which you're probably going to see in flagships start of next year. So before it rolls out to general masses, you're looking 2 years before almost everybody has one of them chips in the phones. The other thing we need to see is better 5G coverage. Now you can go and see any video out there right now, and when you get 5G on your phone, if you stand in that one spot, you'll get 5G and you'll get a gigabyte, 2 gigabytes download speeds. But if you turn around, all of a sudden you're going to drop down to what are essentially 4G speeds. 5G is blocked a lot easier. It doesn't reach as far, and it doesn't penetrate walls and windows as well as 4G does. The dream of walking around the city centre doing virtual reality and AR over 5G is just not quite there. Now coming back to the speed you did before when you checked, I hope you checked. You're going to let me know in the comments, right? You promise? We cope perfectly well with that. And what can't we do now with our internet at home? As long as we have good internet, as long as we have good internet and we don't live in a rural area or a built-up area, we can game online, we can stream games from the cloud, we can stream movies in 4K, and we can update software in a few moments. Now maximum speeds on UK broadband, you're probably looking around about a gigabyte, 900, 800 if you live in a cable area. If you don't live in a cable area, then you're probably maxing out around about 200. And when was the last time, if you got them speeds, when was the last time you thought, hey, I need faster than this? Now again, that's not to say that we won't need faster in the future. We will. Just like we didn't need faster when we had dial-up broadband. Give it a thumbs up if you remember dial-up broadband. That awful sound that it made every time you want to get online. Because yes, we had to switch the internet on. Kids, if you're too young to remember, we literally had to turn the internet on before we used it. God, I feel old. So is 5G overhyped? Yes and no. We should put the brakes on a little bit and just kind of pull back from 5G and stop ourselves from getting too excited, because it's not going to happen in the immediate future. If you get a text or an email from your service provider saying, good news, we've turned 5G on in your area, nothing's going to change overnight. Your life won't improve drastically. Unless you're one of the people who are still on dial-up broadband and then 5G comes on in your area and you can get one of them 5G indoor mini hubs with an aerial sticking out the window, great, you will get some improvements. However, for most of us, we're just going to have to wait until these new implementations of new apps and new services and new phones, new hardware and better coverage and better battery life comes over the next 2 or 3 years before we start to see any major improvement and any real need for 5G. So, slow down, calm down, enjoy what you have right now. Don't rush out for a 5G phone. If you have a 5G phone, great. If the phone that you want comes with 5G, great, it's an added bonus, but do not go out and change your phone just to get a 5G phone, because that is money down the drain. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and share it with someone else if they're down your ear about 5G this or 5G that. Maybe this might help to shut them up. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.